Today, we are pleased to bring Richard Kaufman to the studio, to our virtual studio. He's a 23-year Army veteran who hosts a podcast called Vertical Momentum. Richard, welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's a total pleasure and honor, and it's an honor getting to meet you after reading your amazing book twice. I think I'm so blessed to be able to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, let's start with a little bit of your military background and whatever you'd like to share with us.
All right. Well, I joined the military in 1986, active duty. Unfortunately, I became a drug addict and alcoholic on active duty, and they threw me out for being an addict and alcoholic in 1988. So I spent 2.5 years active duty. Then I got back in the military and spent over 20 years in the Army National Guard. And I would have done 30, but I got hurt in a training accident. And that's how come I'm blind. So if you guys can see me, I can't see you. Or else I would have done 30 years in the military, but God had other plans. So now I'm doing other things besides the military, but still serving.
So I'm curious to hear more about, the piece about going back into the military. What was it that prompted you to go back into the National Guard?
Well, I got into a little bit of law trouble, and I got arrested, and my family had to bail me out. And my uncle made a snide remark. He said, I knew you were never going to make it in the military. You're not that kind of man. You're not a military man. And it just really didn't sit well with me. And they said, like my grandparents used to say, it just sat in my craw. And for a while, it was just something that I had to do to prove him wrong. It took me a couple of years to get back in, but eventually I did get back in. And so I finished with over 23 years combined time in National Guard and Army.
So that's part of your fighting spirit. When someone says you can't do it, you say, watch me.
Yeah, now it's like hold my Kool-Aid because I can't drink anymore. So instead of hold my beer, now it's hold my Kool-Aid, watch me do this.
Well, that was actually my next point, is that the same fighting spirit can be applied to overcoming challenges like addiction.
Yeah, I just celebrated 32 years sober January 2nd.
Amazing. Amazing.
So
that's awesome.
No, that's why I say I hold my soda or my Kool-Aid.
Right. And you talked about finding purpose after the military. Tell us more about that.
Well, I attempted suicide Memorial Day 2012. Thank God it didn't. At the last second, I pulled away and didn't do it. And then I decided, to go get help. And that Monday morning, I went to go see my therapist, and she's been my therapist for the last 11 years. And I had to find a way to help other people. And the best way, I used to speak on stages. I used to go to rehabs, jails, prisons. But because of, the whole COVID, everything going on with COVID, I decided to start a podcast. And now we're like 250 episodes in. And now I'm able to reach more people instead of just talking to a room full of 12 people. I can, reach masses of people and be able to help people that are struggling with the same things that I went through.
Tell us about the format of your podcast.
Well, when I first started out, it just started out because I was in the supplement industry. I was with GNC for over 30 years. So I just started out reviewing products. And then one day I lost my vision January of last year fully. I'm 80% blind. And I decided, maybe if I'm feeling bad about myself, I interview people that have it worse than me. And so I interviewed people that were, veterans that had both arms and both legs blown off, and they're out there skiing with their family in Aspen. So it was kind of a motivating thing. So now I just interview people that have amazing stories of, coming back from whatever they went through. That's why it's called Vertical Momentum, where the tagline is the only way to go is but up, instead of having that negative, any kind of negative connotations. So now I'm just blessed to be able to talk to people like General Petraeus and stuff like that, and talk to them about, transition and especially mental health issues.
Can you think of a recent guest or a recent story? It could be General Petraeus or somebody else that really stands out to you, and tell us what they shared?
Probably he was a gentleman. I can't say his name right now, but because he's deployed and he's overseas. He's on his 11th deployment, and he got his foot almost blown off, and within a year he was back in action and back in the fight again. And he actually saved a couple people and pulled them to safety with his foot hanging off. So that kind of is a very inspiring story to realize no matter what we're going through, we can come back. We can all just reach down and grab that something and realize, everybody loves a comeback story. Like if Rocky didn't win the title in Rocky 2, we would have never had Rocky 3. Mm-hmm. So everybody loves a comeback story, and everybody has a comeback story in them.
And it's never too late to come back, is it?
Nope, it's not too late until they're putting nails in a coffin.
So Richard, I know that normally you wear a hat, and you're not today because we wanted to be able to see you and get better light on your face for this interview, but often you wear a hat. Can you tell us why that is?
Well, sure. About 6 years ago, me and my wife went to go see the movie American Sniper, and we were so amazed and so heartbroken that when I got home, I actually got in touch with Chris's wife, Chris Kyle, the American Sniper, got in touch with his wife. And I said, whenever I go on a show or any podcast, I'm going to wear a hat in honor of your husband, Chris, because he was always wearing a hat, usually in whatever he did. And the point was, because sometimes over time, things get forgotten. But more importantly, I wanted people to know that are listening that there are some people that are willing to literally die for you, to be there for you, especially if you're struggling through PTSD, mental health issues, that there's always somebody out there that is willing to stand in the gap. And Chris was one of those people. So that's why I wear a hat in honor of Chris Kyle and the family, but also to let people know that they're not alone. And some people are willing to go up to losing their life in order to help save you.
That's a really beautiful story. And, I knew there was some symbolism behind it. And I didn't know what it was, but I know certainly because you're not experiencing baldness.
Yeah, definitely not.
You can take my word for it that you're having a really good hair day. Is there anything else you'd really like to share with our audience about how you found purpose, or really anything for the tribe?
I just found purpose because I knew that whenever I was at my biggest, downest points, there was always somebody that stood in the gap for me. And now I want to be that person that's willing to stand in the gap, take those arrows for you while you're still getting help and getting treatment. This way you're never alone.
Awesome. Well, it's so good to have you with us today, Richard. And we look forward to airing this segment and talking about, how you're finding purpose after the military and what you're up to. Any parting thoughts?
Yes, you guys need to get this book. Because this book really changed my life and my perspective, especially the chapter called Shame on You. If you guys are in the military, first responders, definitely get this book and read that chapter twice.
I didn't plant this, I promise, right, Richard?
Nope, but it's just, if it's something, if something affects me, then I'm going to talk about it.
And how can people find your podcast?
They can go on, we're on everywhere. We just got accepted onto Apple. It's called Vertical Momentum. So they can just check it out and leave a comment if you like it. We have a lot of guests, and hopefully, wink, wink, that Miss Shauna is going to come on and be a guest.
Oh, I told you I would. We just have to set a date.
Yep. So, but I just want to
pin me down. That's all right. It's all right. I will. All right. Well, great to talk to you. And then I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
I'm so grateful. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Richard. All right. Have a great day.